how was the game on Saturday, and what did you pick up from it?
Yeah, it was interesting for us as staff to see some things that we worked on in training. I think probably for the players, the state of mind was not the perfect one to make a really slick performance, because everybody's very highly motivated to to do really, really well, and to run around and and they want to be involved in every single action, and so it's hard for them to relax and hard for them to pick their moments when to be involved and when not to. They want to do everything. Everyone's got Roy the Rover syndrome, but that's great. That's because they're enthusiastic and they all want to do well. So yeah, it was good learning experience for us as staff.
And what do you pick up from in these early games? Is there anything that you actually look for, or is it just a case of getting them out there and getting minutes under the belt?
No, it's definitely a bit more than that. I think we want to see that people are picking up practices from training and applying them into the game. Certain units and players have had more work in the short period of time that we've been back in, so we probably looking at them more closely. And then, of course, looking at people's body language and how they're moving and so on, just those really raw things that we can pick up at this early stage.
George Williams was absent from the game. Are we reading too much into it?
Yeah, I should think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible because he's super fit. I mean, in the best condition, and he picked up a strain. Probably just because he's done so much, so it's nothing for us to be concerned about. Frustrating for George and for us, but he's in really good condition, and he'll be back with us very soon.
We also heard rumours last week that Max Taylor from Manchester United was training with you guys. What's the situation there?
Yes, Max was with us, and he trained and played a little bit and that, but probably the qualities that he has, we've either got those covered in the group already, or it's sort of type of qualities that we maybe not pinpointing as much. But Max is a very good player. We'll probably be playing against him, I imagine, in the coming weeks. But no, it won't be with us, for this campaign.
And there were also rumours towards the end of last week about a potential bid for Reece Healey. I assume he's probably on the top shelf of players that you're probably not likely to sell anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible for Reece to go underneath the radar. Yeah. Telling him to stop scoring, but he doesn't listen. But no, of course, Reece is a talented boy, and he does that thing that only very few people can do, and stick it in the back of the net. So we know that there's going to be rumours and interest in that, and we imagine that there's going to be more of that, because we expect Reece to score more goals in the weeks to come.
Alex Gilbey was someone who left last week. Does he leave a big hole in the MK Dons midfield, or is that something that you're obviously already looking to plug?
Yeah, he does, because he had a he had a unique, he had his own style, and created goals and opportunities for us and whatever. But we will have to reshape, and the players will come in and not be exactly Alex Gilbey, but they will bring something unique to the table, and we will move on. And he left us. I mean, for me, in the short period of time that I worked with Alex, he left some great memories. The goal at Gillingham always stands out to me. It's really, to be able to see that live and be a part of that, brilliant. And thanks for all his efforts and for the memories and that. But yeah, we're gonna be bringing guys in that are gonna do their bit and create great memories for us in the future.
Are we expecting more in? I mean, obviously we're expecting ins, because your squad's pretty threadbare at the moment. But are we expecting more ins in the short term?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of work going on. As you know, that these deals are not simple. People are moving around, and there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But yeah, and of course, when you're trying to chase after good players, other people are doing the same. you know, and we're right at the front of the queue with a lot of different guys. I know that, and there will be people coming in for sure.
As a coach, how important is pre-season, especially, you know, having come in midway through a season as you did last year? How massive is it for you guys to have a clear schedule, so to speak, just to be out there coaching the side?
Yeah, it's a really good opportunity for us, you know. And last season we were trying to coach the guys to play in a way probably, you know, was different to how they played before, but doing that with a backdrop of, you know, relegation and the pressure. And I mean, I thought the guys were fantastic. That you know, the way that they played out of relegation in real style, and I think that's rare. So now to be able to do it in a slightly more relaxed setting is better. I think, like I say, the guys are probably putting pressure on themselves, you know, which is a really good sign of you know. But we need to try and help them to relax and get the work in and think about it before the fury of the league begins.
Do you think it was almost good in a way that you came in when you did to almost give you that head start for this season? You know, you can use those last few months of last season as the starting point, and now you're coming into it, and at least the players know what the idea behind the method is.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think what was brilliant was that the manager set his stall out, you know, from the beginning, because I think it would have been perfectly acceptable for the manager to say, okay, look, we're going to do whatever we have to do, and there's going to be no hard and fast rules, no style. It's just going to be about tin hats, you know, and just getting over the line.
Just getting out of the mess.
Yeah, exactly. And he went beyond that, you know. He went beyond that and said, no, I'm starting as I mean to continue. And yeah, I'm sure I'm biased, but I think that, you know, I think that's brilliant for a manager to have his first job under pressure and say, no, I'm gonna set my stall out from the very beginning. And I think that if I was a player in the change room, I say, look, this guy's serious. Like, you know, he when he tells us that he wants certain things, he'll tell us if we're in a relegation fight away from home at wherever, you know, Portsmouth, or, you know, that it can be the biggest League One club, and there's a way of playing and there's work being done that the manager expects you to do, whether that's like I say, relegation battle or start of pre-season. So I totally agree. I think to have started the work last season has really, I'm sure, has given the players, you know, a real clarity and belief that this is exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
We hear a lot of players singling you out as one of the best coaches that they've ever worked with. I'm not going to, you know, ask why, but what, you know, what is it? You know, I mean, that must make you feel great that the players are enjoying coming in and working with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's cost me a lot of money, you know, to bribe them to say these things. Fantastic, and you know, it's been something that I've been doing for a number of years, and to get positive feedback is really, you know, it's really fantastic, and it puts me, it makes me feel under pressure to continue to try and provide a good level of you know, service, really, for want of a better word, to the players and to the manager. It's what I do. It's something I take very, very seriously, and yeah, positive feedback is amazing feeling. Yeah.
And we've just spoken to Ben Gladwin, is obviously somebody you worked with before. How big a player can he be next season?
I think Ben Gladwin is in the best condition he's ever been in his life. I think that what you see physically is a reflection of what is in here. I think he's in the best mental conditioning. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a reality. He's conditioned. His mind, his mindset, his attitude towards life and football, and his body now is ready to be able to. I think he can really hit any type of heights. I think that Ben would be able to play in a championship. He'd be able to play in the Premier League. He just needs to put together a run of games, and, you know, to get his flow back. You know, really, he's been so disjointed. The last time I saw Ben play, you know, back-to-back games was in League One, and he was unstoppable, absolutely unplayable. And I think it's exciting that we can see that here, you know, in the coming weeks. Yeah.
The mental aspect of the game is I think a little bit underlooked. You know, people don't give it as much credence as they probably should. And there are, you know, an awful lot of mental health campaigns that are beginning to kick in now, and I think people are paying it more attention. But you know, when you see a player like Ben out for two years, best part of, and you know, seeing the way he's had to come back and the setbacks he's had, it's massive, isn't it? Not just to have the physical side of your game set, but to have that playing on your mind every time you go out there, you could get injured for the long term again. Must be so difficult to overcome.
And I'm really pleased to hear you talk like that, because it is the reality is that, you know, everybody in all walks of life have pressures on them, you know, and it takes a huge toll on their mental state of mind, and football's no different. I think because it is something that's regarded as like a, you know, a luxury, you know, you're fortunate to work in, and whilst we all understand that, we are all very, very grateful to be able to be involved in football on a daily basis, but without a doubt, it takes a mental toll on, you know, and it's a job without security. You know, we all know the realities of underperforming, and it's also a job that can hurt you physically, which then it gives you the same mental battle as well, to be able to endure this type of you know, return to action, the non-stop rehabilitation, get close to the finish line, and then you're still miles away from being able to play a game of football. So you've just come over this tremendous, you know, journey to get medically fit, and now you're nowhere near match fit to play a game of football. So all your excitement, you go on the pitch and you can't keep up, and your touch is gone. And you know, Ben's had to come over so many hurdles and that, and I think it's great that people talk more honestly about how difficult things are, and it's okay to say, I love what I do and I feel grateful for what I do, and I still find it really hard. It's fine. We're allowed to say that.
And have you noticed that change in him from when he signed in January to how he's been in training in these last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Ben as a young player playing non-league football, to make his league debut, and then to go on and, you know, play in a playoff semi-final and final, and all the ups and downs that he's had to go through. I've been close with Ben through his journey at, you know, Bristol City and QPR and to Blackburn, and it's been a roller coaster ride for him. And what I'm seeing now is Ben in the best shape that he's ever been, and that's a really exciting thing. He's certainly he's ready to, you know, to make a big impact.
And we're seeing the pre-season games now starting to come in thick and fast. That must be the bit of the job that you love most.
Yeah, it's brilliant, you know, and we work really hard on training ground, and then we want to go and see everything click into place immediately, and that's not always the case. So it can be bittersweet, you know. You make one pre-season performance, you feel, okay, we're really getting somewhere, and then maybe another one step backwards. But this is a luxury to be able to play games of football against really good opposition and not have to worry about 3 points or being knocked out of a competition. So yeah, it's more enjoyable from that point of view, that, you know, you don't have the big downs, but you know, there's nothing better than, you know, when it really kicks off and you win games in cups and leagues and that. So yeah, at the moment, really enjoyable to not have the pressure and get ready for the real thing.
But the real thing's coming soon, isn't it? I mean, the fixtures are coming out on Friday. That's when it really starts to heat up, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to lie. There'll be a few butterflies when I look at that list, you know, and that you know, that's the beauty of it. And we need to be in the best possible place that we can be at the end of the pre-season to you know, to feel confident and look forward to the games and go and trying to enjoy the games. Yeah.
It's obviously going to be a bit more of a compact season. Does that impact on you guys, and how much so?
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for every group of players and every group of staff to make tough calls on whether or not to play a player one more game. Do we need to rest him? You know, is he too important to rest? Are the guys, you know, that haven't played, are they ready to come in? I think it's going to be a case of that more than probably any other season. You know, that that squads are going to have to be rotated around, and managers are going to have to make big calls on whether to leave out, top performers in their team, to for the long-term good, rather than to go one more game and risk losing that player, for a long period. So it's going to be very challenging. It's going to be very challenging but at least everyone is in the same boat. Every squad is going to have to, and every manager is going to have to make these tough calls, and training regimes going to have to be monitored far more carefully. The long week that we say a Saturday to Saturday is just going to be non-existent. So, really pinpointing when to get work on the training ground in between the short turnaround, and what players to actually pick. I mean, when do you get the time to do it? But it by hook or by crook, everyone's going to get there, and it's going to take some real careful management for sure.
Nice one. Thank you very much, mate.
Very welcome.
Hi, Luke.
Hello.
Just following on from what Toby was saying about with squad rotations and stuff, is it likely then that we're going to see some of the younger guys from the academy kind of making debuts and more appearances this year?
Yeah, do you know what we tell players, look, at the moment you feel like you're a million miles away. We get it, but we've been through it so many times. Be ready. Be ready. Make sure that you're doing every extra bit of work that you can do. Make sure that you're watching clips. You're tuned into everything that's going on, because your chance will come like that. And young players, it's very difficult for them to be able to see that vision. But now more than ever, every single player at the club has got a real opportunity to be involved at some point. And I'm sure you're right when you say that young players are going to feature that didn't expect to feature, that we ordinarily would think, okay, he's going to be another year or so before those guys are going to play. They're going to play some part, and I can guarantee that somebody's going to take the opportunity by the scruff of the neck and really shock everybody and put himself in a completely different position. Yeah.
And obviously, from a coaching standpoint, how has it been working within all of the COVID protocols over the pre-season?
Yeah, I think the first week was the toughest, because we had to do every session 3 times because we were very small numbers. So 6 hours outside, there's no building for us to go into in between sessions. So yeah, I think the first week, 6 hours on the grass in the sun was quite a dramatic change from lockdown with 2 under 2-year-old children. So that was a challenge. That was a real challenge. But we're starting to be able to find it easier. The different stipulations that are in place and that, and we're starting to be able to get to a routine really.
Now, obviously, you came to the Dons partway through last season. When Russ took over and you joined him, the club was in a bit of a difficult situation, hadn't won for a long time. How impressed were you to see, or how pleased were you to see the improvements that the team made during your short time last season and ultimately avoid the drop?
I think I was overwhelmingly, the feeling I had was how impressed with so many of the players, because I've been involved in groups when they're in a real bad position in the league and there's a lot of pressure, and it's completely understandable that so many players just don't function properly. They can't, but this group was really impressive, the way that people were able to start going onto the pitch like really owning it and being really appearing like a team that were really at the top of the league, challenging, coming out with some like swagger and really, playing against good teams and making those teams look like, I think the first time the first win we actually got, although we had some good performances, we played here, I think it was Oxford, now Callum's going to tell me, and Oxford didn't have a single shot on goal. And that's a really good football team. That is a really good team. But for the guys to go out there and like really shoulders back and you're in our place now, and to really take the game, that was some really, really impressive stuff. Yeah.
And last one from me then, do you have any particular personal aims or goals that you want to achieve next season?
I think an improvement on, you know, where we finished last season. We want to see, you know, forward momentum. I think that there's a lot of work to be done in terms of you know, getting the right people, getting the right group together, and then once we've got that sort of near on perfect group, it's about then giving them the time to go and work to be something really special. And so I think for this season, it's probably sound unbelievably cliche, but I feel like it's a building season because the group is going to change a lot. Then we need to understand all the characteristics of the new players. We know the style that the manager wants. We all understand that. I've got to try and translate that to the players, you know, and the players have got to try to grasp everything that the manager wants, and we've got to go to training ground. That takes a lot of work. I think that we can expect to see a better finish than we did last season, and I think really to be excited about you know, going forward with a new group and with a manager with real clarity and real vision and drive. I think, you know, we can do something really great.